Over the past few weeks, I've been making really great progress on some pretty important projects. I collected reference photos and did preparatory sketches for what I'm hoping will be an entire new collection of work, and started on the painting that we'll be talking about in this video. And I'm so close to finally finishing up work on the sequel to my best-selling educational product that I've been working on for like 9 months now. A lot of this progress is thanks to a pretty fundamental shift in my mindset, moving away from a short-term perception of my productivity and more toward a long-term perception of the progress that I am making toward the most important things in my life. So in this video, I want to tell you a little bit about this painting, this new collection of work it'll hopefully be a part of, and how this shift in my mindset has had a profoundly positive impact on my mental health and my productivity. And thank you to Akaflow for sponsoring this video. I talked about this briefly in my last video, which was really all about how I stay inspired, but in this new painting collection, I really just want to spend time exploring the California coast. I'm a Midwest girl, born and raised in Minnesota, and I went to high school in the deep south, so I'm not really used to coastline. I'm not really used to the ocean. And a lot of the California coast has been painted by artists for hundreds of years. It's not a new thing to be entranced by this particular subject matter. It's not quote unquote original. But can I be honest? I just don't care about originality. I don't care if I'm the first person to have painted something or the 1 millionth. Every inch of the California coast may have already been painted by someone, but it hasn't been painted by me. I want that experience for myself, if nothing else. I'm not actually going to try and paint every inch of the California coast. That project would be a little bit insane of me, but I want to use this collection as a means of continuing to develop as an artist, improving my mark making by pulling in elements of Impressionism from Joaquin Sorolla, creating magic and atmosphere by tying in bits of the American tonalists and the Pre-Raphaelites, and pushing myself to go out and explore and live my life and take my own photo reference. So we're starting this collection with this painting right here, this rocky coastal scene in Point Reyes, California. This photo was taken on the Chimney Rock hiking trail, which I have already done a painting of, actually. It was that big round painting that I did earlier this year. The lighting and the atmosphere in this painting is very different. The scene is very different. Where the other one was cloudy and overcast, this one is warm, it's sun-soaked, with a ton of direct lighting and deep, warm shadows. Instead of a round panel, I'm working on an 18 by 23, I think, oval, very kindly made for me by Bara Wood Shaping. And we won't finish this painting in this video, just to set expectations right from the jump. We will be making some really solid headway. I started out this edit with just over 5 hours worth of footage for this painting, which is like an insane amount of 4K footage to work with. So we won't finish, but we will make a ton of really solid progress. And none of what you're seeing is sped up, by the way. I've just cut together the most interesting bits for you. I used to only want to make art videos when I had filmed the entire process of a painting from start to finish. I think there's value in that kind of video for sure, but my paintings are larger now than they used to be, and they take longer to finish. So I'm trying to give myself the grace and the permission to split things up a little bit more and make a series of videos on a painting rather than just trying to do it all in one very long, very intense video. And that really all goes back to the long-term mindset that I've been shifting more toward overall. Trying to think about my productivity, not in terms of what I got done in the last hour or the last day, but what I'm achieving over the course of 6 months, a year, 2 years. I think it can be really, really easy to get way too lost in the sauce of your day-to-day work, always reaching for more and never being satisfied with yourself or your art or your work unless you're reaching and improving and chasing something that you think is better. You tell yourself that when you finally achieve this thing that you're chasing, then you'll be happy. But then you achieve it and you feel nothing but a desire to chase the next thing. This isn't always bad. In the process of pursuing a goal or mastery in a skill, your taste can improve, your desires for the future can shift, and so achieving mastery is more of a journey you go on than a destination that you arrive at. An iterative process of self-discovery rather than a thing that you just check off of a to-do list. And that's all fine. Ian Roberts actually posted a really good video on this topic a few days ago. But the thing that can make this not so good is when you mindlessly chase the next thing. When you begin comparing yourself to other people instead of your previous self. When you lose sight of what success really means to you. This, to me, is short-term thinking at its peak. Focusing on immediate results and short-term goals without taking the time to reflect and make sure that all of this effort is actually aligned with the things that you want out of life. Too often, this focus on immediate results, on finding secret hacks or quick tips to grow faster, come at the expense of genuine skill building, your mental and physical health, your personal relationships, and your other hobbies. But if you actually take the time to look back at everything you've done so far, everything you've achieved, it can be a huge opportunity to reframe your thoughts around productivity and progress. When I compare the work that I was making 4 years ago to the work that I'm making now, I see a world of difference. But it's so easy to get caught up in the little things, the smaller failures, the pieces that I abandoned, or the sketchbooks I didn't finish, to see my creative practice as a string of unfinished projects that I leave in my wake, instead of a larger, overarching journey of tangible and genuine progress. Having self-confidence, even confidence in the work that I'm doing and the journey that I'm on, isn't something that comes super naturally to me. I am constantly second-guessing myself, and it's in this process of looking back at my older work and reflecting on this progress that I can kind of calm myself down, take a deep breath, and know that I'll figure it out. If you feel really creatively stuck right now or disheartened, I'd so strongly recommend digging up your older work, taking a look at it, analyzing all of the ways that you have grown as a creative. And the progress we see when we look back at our older work isn't even just about technical skill. It's about all of the systems and the habits that we've built, the way your taste has changed, the artistic eye you've developed. All of these really important but less visible things that have laid the foundation for real growth. And when you zoom out and you think about your creative practice and even your business and your career in terms of years, even decades, rather than just days and weeks, everything shifts. You start thinking less about how many pieces you can finish in a month and more about what skills you need to build to create the kind of work you really want to make. You think less about how many followers you can get this week and more about how you can build genuine connections with people that love your work. And these thoughts lead to different actions. You might decide to do the somewhat boring work of practicing the art fundamentals you'll need to create the work that you want to make in the long term, instead of just focusing on the pieces that excite you in the short term. You might focus on making fewer high-quality pieces rather than trying to make art every day, and you will hopefully actually take breaks and allow yourself to rest. I personally find that my best ideas in my creative practice and in my business come when I let myself rest. They come when I'm making bread, when I'm working in my garden, when I'm playing with my cat, or hanging out with my friends. And I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking that you need money now. You need pieces for your portfolio now. You can't afford to think long term. And I have been there for sure, but thinking long term doesn't mean ignoring your present needs. It means finding ways to meet those needs that don't compromise your future growth and that set yourself up for success in the future. The really incredible thing about leaning into a more long-term mindset is that it actually makes the present moment less stressful. When you're not expecting and betting on overnight success, When you understand that meaningful growth takes time, you can relax into the process more. You can celebrate small wins. You can forgive yourself for the inevitable setbacks that you'll encounter along the way. I think one of the single most powerful shifts that come along with adopting a more long term mindset is how it changes your relationship to learning and experimentation. When you're thinking short term, every piece needs to be perfect, every post needs to perform well, every project needs to succeed. Even just saying that out loud makes me exhausted. This kind of mindset is so unhealthy, and I think genuinely holds you back from the kind of deep exploration that leads to real artistic growth. Look at the painting that I'm working on right now. I'm trying a few different things. A new thinner to start. I'm using the Sennelier green thinner, which is non-toxic and not quite as fragrant as my usual lavender spike oil. I'm also trying some new techniques with how I'm building up the painting, doing very thin, rough washes to block in color as I switch from section to section, and using those thin washes to develop some interesting rough textures on the sand and the rocks of this coast. This painting might not turn out perfect, and that's fine. I'm a big girl, I can sand it down and repaint it if I absolutely need to. Because I'm thinking long term, I can see this piece as part of a larger journey of artistic development and not some huge, high stakes project that absolutely has to be perfect. And you know what? This way of thinking has actually made me more productive, not less. I know it sounds counterintuitive. How could slowing down and taking longer and creating fewer paintings actually make you more productive? But when I'm not constantly stressed out about immediate results, when I don't convince myself that I have to finish a painting in just a week for a video and burn myself out working at an unsustainable pace for my body, I actually have more energy and more clarity that I can use to focus on what matters. By focusing on fewer, more meaningful projects, rather than trying to do everything all at once, I am actually completing more work that I'm truly proud of. I've made fewer paintings this year, for sure, but I'm so much more proud of my work than I've ever been. I don't think shifting to a long-term mindset is about being passive or lazy. It's about being more intentional. It's about envisioning the person that you want to be years from now, the life that you want to lead, the work that you want to make, the skills you want to have, and slowly taking steps to bring that vision to life. Speaking of being more intentional with your energy and your effort, one of the biggest challenges that I faced in adopting this long-term mindset is actually just organizing my time in a way that supports this. It's one thing to say that you want to focus on fewer, more meaningful projects, and it's another to actually structure your day to make that possible. And that's why I'm really excited to introduce you to Akaflow, the sponsor of this video. Akaflow is a time blocking platform designed to help creative professionals take control of their schedule and protect time for what matters most. Imagine having all of your tasks from different places, your emails, your calendar events, your project management tools, everything automatically synced into one unified inbox. Instead of constantly jumping between different apps and tabs and trying to figure out what to work on next, you can just drag and drop these tasks right into your calendar to time block your day. This is perfect for artists and creators trying to balance their creative work with business tasks. You could block out your peak creative hours for making art, let's say the morning, and then schedule all of those necessary but less inspiring tasks like admin work, answering emails, doing bookkeeping, for times when you typically have lower creative energy. The visual calendar on Akaflow makes it so easy to protect your creative time while still making sure that nothing falls through the cracks. When you sign up for Akaflow, you get a free one-on-one onboarding call with their team. They'll help you set up your perfect workflow and show you all the features that'll be most helpful for your specific situation. This personalized onboarding ensures that you get the most out of the platform from the start. If you want to try Akaflow for yourself, click the link in the description to learn more. And now back to the video. Speaking of this idea of protecting time for what matters most, I want to share something I've been working on that really embodies this whole philosophy of long-term thinking. For the past 8 or 9 months, I've been developing what's honestly turned into the single most comprehensive educational resource I have ever created. This project has been such a perfect example of the benefits and sometimes the challenges of embracing a longer-term mindset. To finish this project, I've had to turn down other paid opportunities, and that has honestly, genuinely resulted in a decline in my short-term revenue, but I believe in this product's value, and so it felt like a good long-term bet worth making. There have been moments where the instant gratification part of my brain was just screaming at me to rush it out into the world to figure out a way to get this huge thing off my plate, but I kept coming back to this vision that I have for my business, for my content, for my art. I want to create things that genuinely help other artists, that stand the test of time, that people will find valuable years from now. And sometimes that means making hard choices in the present for the sake of that future vision. And I am so grateful that I have built a business so far that can facilitate that kind of working. I think also taking my time with this project has just resulted in a better product. It's just better. It's just objectively better than it would have otherwise been had I tried to rush it out. By taking my time with it, by letting myself read related books, write when I felt inspired, and let ideas percolate in the background, it's evolved into something far more valuable than I initially imagined. Just yesterday, I was in this really intense flow state with it that I worked until midnight, which, yes, I do realize goes against some of the advice that I gave earlier in this video. It's, say as I do, do as I say, not as I do. That's how it goes. I don't want to reveal too much about this project just yet, though trust me, it's killing me to not tell you. It's so hard to hold myself back, but what I can say is that it represents exactly the kind of work that I want to be creating more of. Thoughtful, comprehensive resources that blend artistic development with sustainable business practices. This is what thinking long-term looks like in practice. It's not always perfect. Sometimes you still work late when you're excited about something. Sometimes you have to make tough financial choices. Sometimes you have to resist the urge to rush things out the door, but when you're clear about your long-term vision, these decisions become a little bit easier. You can see how today's choices are building toward tomorrow's goals. If you want to be the first to hear about this project when it launches next week, oh my god, so soon, make sure you're on my email list. I'll put the link in the description. But more importantly, I hope sharing this behind the scenes look at my own process helps you think about your creative practice differently. As I sit here and I watch myself working on this painting, I can't help but reflect on how different my approach to art and business is now compared to even just a year ago. This painting might take weeks to finish. It could take an entire year to finish. And that educational resource that I'm launching took the better part of a year, and that's okay, because I'm playing the long game. I really believe that the most meaningful work, the kind of work that actually impacts people's lives and stands the test of time, rarely comes from rushing or from trying to optimize every single minute of every single day. It comes from giving yourself space to grow, to experiment, to sometimes fail, and to gradually build something really meaningful. Whether you're just starting your creative journey or you've been at this for years, I encourage you to take a step back, to think about your own relationship with your time and your productivity. Ask yourself if you're making choices that support your long-term vision, if you're allowing yourself to work at a pace that actually serves your creativity and your mental health. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought. Next week, I'm going to be announcing that huge project, and I am so anxious just thinking about it. So I will see you guys later. There'll be more videos on the screen now if you wanted to keep hanging out and making art together, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.